all-time example. So Beeline playing off of that a little bit. Here are the 10 on the floor to start the game. Derek Walton Jr., by the way, 12 assists against Indiana. That's a Big Ten tournament record. And there's the Purdue 5 that includes A.J. Hammond's first team all-conference and the defensive player of the year in the Big Ten. That's not unusual for Matt Painter to present a player as the best defender in the conference. This, by the way, marks for Matt his 400th career game as the head coach of his alma mater. All right, guys, a little thought here before tip. They met twice in the regular season, each team winning at home.
I'll tell you what, this should be a great matchup. Contrast in styles, the speed of Michigan versus the size of the interior of Purdue, Coach.
And you know how tough Michigan is to guard. It's going to be tough on the big guys to cover the wings. Watch out for the back door. They do it with regularity.
And the tap is taken by Hammonds. And here comes the 25-7 Boilermakers.
Jim Nance. Grant Hill. Right now. Michigan. Minute.
And Coach man-to-man Urban on Swanigan early, and Purdue trying to go inside but turn the ball over.
Another good entry pass.
On the floor, finally ending up in the hands of Edwards.
Thompson running the show. Be interesting to see his matchup. And this kid really knows how to bounce to ecstasy, huh? Look at this. He's got hooks, Jim, and he can deliver that punch.
He's got a lot of game. Talking about A.J. Hammonds.
And on the offensive end, Michigan, they have to execute their deep offense, share the ball, get the ball side to side. That's the best way they have. They don't have a go-to player, so they have to trust each other.
They fade for an open jumper.
Urban, nice box out by Swanigan to pick it off the floor. As Thompson bring it up.
Gonna have to make some outside shots, I think, to loosen up the inside.
Inside, that's Edwards. Quick to the ball. Walton trying to get the handle on it. Well, Purdue shot the ball really well the last 5 games, Bill.
Obviously, the extra pass that they make.
Urban again, not this time.
Purdue's a confident team, though, Jim, and they really move the ball as well, inside out for an open look. Look at this low post. Say goodnight.
Yeah, that's Swanigan off the blocks.
That's too easy inside. Got to help on these matchups, particularly Swanigan and Urban. Urban can't guard him by himself.
Now you got to harass the passer too. Don't let them have vision for the entry. They use the post guy to screen and pop. Low score favors Michigan, I think.
Donnell with the jumper. And the Wolverines coming up with empty trips here at the start.
Swanigan likes to, how about this entry?
Yeah, Swanigan to Hammonds.
How deep was that from the floor? That can't happen.
Couple of early baskets down low by Hammonds.
A dribble exchange, very effective.
Stuck, and on the floor, it's taken away by Purdue. Up ahead to Thompson, and driving in, and it's left off the glass. Basket will count.
Interesting. I don't know if that was below the rim.
Yeah, I don't think that ball had a chance of going in there, Coach.
I'll hit it first, though. Good call.
Yeah, it's a good call. I don't think it was going to make it, though.
Boy, it's hard to admit that, isn't it?
First 8 points to the Boilermakers.
And Michigan has gotten some good looks. They just haven't been able to capitalize, but they got to just execute, wear down that defense of Purdue with their offensive production.
They have enough guys that can use the dribble at the end of shot clock, plus the pick and pop effective. Good cross.
Beautiful move there for the Wolverines. First basket, Abdur Rahman.
He had a big game against Purdue. At Purdue, 25 points, Jim. He can light it up. He scores well at home.
Michigan won that game by 5 at home. And Chrysler, Purdue beat him by 17 up in West Lafayette, and showing a little outside game, which he is certainly capable of. Hammonds now with his 3rd basket.
Now you own the guy. I don't know if you can relate to that.
That was just too easy right there.
Very active on the offensive end, Michigan. You mentioned, look at this. Nice little sprint to the goal. Give back Robinson.
Donnell makes the basket.
Now look at the mismatch in the center spot. They finally get back. Donnell recovers.
Here's Davis. Drive it in, puts it up wildly. Hammonds tries to keep it alive and pulled down by Robinson.
Nice run.
Irvin passed up the shot. Here's a three. Donnell knocks it down.
Great unselfishness. Abdul Rahman, him cutting through, set up the open opportunity there. And Robinson, one of the best shooters, knocking it down wide open.
Well, he can get whatever he wants in there, huh? Catching it too easy.
So the first 8 points went to Purdue. Michigan comes back at last. 10-7 at the first.
Bulls will join us here in the studio tomorrow. Jim, Raft, and Grant, back to you.
All right, thank you, Greg. How about the Seawolves and how about their coach, Raft? He's got a little history.
Peichel, of course, played for Jim Calhoun.
Steve Peichel.
He may have been the interpreter of how quickly Jimmy spoke, you know?
He was part of that UConn first ever Big East championship team back in 1990. I still remember that day when they celebrated in the Garden.
Unbelievable run that they've had under Jimmy Calhoun. They continue with Kevin Ollie.
Edwards. And off the back of the rim it drops.
Well, that early fast break was great tonic for Michigan. By the way, when I have tonic, I like something in it. But pushing the ball and getting that jumper to three-pointer, they need those because the defense for Purdue is excellent. Nice curl.
Irvin. Got it.
And being able to exploit that matchup. Swanigan had trouble in the loss against Michigan at Michigan earlier. Irvin had a big second half. He's got to be big here today.
Swanigan, they should rake a little bit and help these guys. I don't think they can play him one-on-one. Irvin, a really good mid-range player as well. Makes him tough.
Well, they found that out on Thursday when he hit that mid-range jumper in overtime to beat Northwestern. What a game that was. Chris Collins, Northwestern team getting a shot at the end of regulation to force the OT. And Michigan win it by a bucket. Here's Walton.
If he can lighten it up, this kid is really a tough player. You mentioned the assists. Of course, the son of a coach, his dad Derek coached him. Plays through injuries, toughness.
Yeah, his dad was coach at Chandler Park Academy. Foul was called on Thompson. So all those assists. Hasn't made a shot from the floor, though, in the first 2 games of the tournament, 0 for 10.
And he's a kid who can give them a little punch, too, with the pull-up.
Monday, the Late Show with Stephen Colbert. Don't miss John Oliver, plus world #1, Jordan Spieth will be visiting with Stephen. Tuesday, Steve Martin, only CBS.
Talk about excellence, huh? Spieth.
Wow.
Young age, so mature.
Been in a little bit of a mini slump, though, but no doubt have things righted by Augusta.
I would settle for that kind of slump myself.
Yeah, no kidding.
You and me both.
Good activity here, a little cross screen. This is where they set up their big. Look at Hammonds, goes right to that area. Sweet spot for him. There you go with the double, much better.
Look at that shot. Hammonds now with 8.
His elevation and release is so high. Tough to get.
Yeah, he got that shot to go over Ricky Doyle, who had come in to try to defend him. 6'9" sophomore, number 32 on the floor for the Wolverines.
Robinson being played by Matthias, who can really light it up at the other end.
There's Walton. And that one rattles out. Chapman also on the floor for Michigan, the hero of yesterday's win against Indiana. Here's Hammonds again, and again soft roll.
You got to do your homework early. You can't just let him run to that sweet spot.
It's too easy, but Purdue sticking to the script. 14 points thus far in the paint. Michigan has to have some resistance defensively.
Here's Robinson, top of the key, and that's a 3.
He's a great catch and shoot kid. You got to get up on him, force him, put it on the deck. You really got to get your hands up on the passer, or the big guy in the post gets an easy catch. Now, this is a little better defense.
Hammonds.
I didn't like that shot for Hammonds. Keep going into the paint. Don't settle for a fadeaway.
Nice hesitation.
Trying to get it down the door, but it was tapped first and forced the steal. That was good effort by Johnny Hill to make that happen, and here he is at the other end.
He thinks he's related to you, by the way.
He called me cousin before the game.
Edwards!
Well, that helps everybody inside. Edwards, terrific defender. Compliments with a little deep drill.
1914 Purdue.
Purdue starts knocking down three-point shots. They are a tough team to defend.
Now, this is one of those teams that people are talking about that are good and have a chance.
Back to the rim this time for Robinson, but Chapman kept it alive as Walton. Back out high, Chapman. And his first three since the game winner yesterday. Good again.
That's not his shot. He's a corner jump shooter.
Corner three.
He made only 7 threes the entire season before that incredible shot yesterday at the end.
Got a little confidence right now.
Jim, they say he's one of the hardest workers, always practicing his shooting, and a little rake down Walton. The ability to make deep shots certainly livens the look of the big guys, but Edwards, one of the terrific defenders, rises big time, a little tardy on the closeout. Chapman can shoot, he's got to guard a little bit if they're going to get going here. The lefty, nylon, healthy look, Michigan.
And there's all kinds of things that can happen. And we've had it all happen to us, good and bad. You don't count anybody out. Anybody can go on a 3 or 4 day roll and shock the world.
Well, you heard too what Tracy reported. Coach Beilein telling her no excuses to this team. We're not going to, the third game in 3 days. I want to hear about being fatigued.
He told him to come out early and just take half the shots that his kid can shoot at, Jim.
And that's off the mark this time for Dakota Mathias. And Walton brings it up quickly for the Wolverines.
Purdue is such a basic, sound defensive team, always in the right spot. A lot of deflections, nice back cut. That's what you got to look for.
And Dawkins is able to get it to go. Chapman with the assist.
A great look. Not only can he stroke at Chapman, but he can find. Look at Haas. Just too tough in there. Goodness.
Haas coming off the bench. 7'2" sophomore.
And what kind of luxury is that to bring a 7'2" skilled big man off the bench? Great move by Haas.
Can't teach height, they tell me.
It's true.
He's got bulk and height.
Michigan with Mo Wagner on the floor. Here he is with the ball. Irvin.
That's his game, I think. I know he can make threes, but boy, he can get squared up and drill him. Good with the bounce.
And number 21 ties the game at 21.
You notice Purdue has been small here for a while to try to match Irvin on the perimeter.
And that sharpshooter off the bench missing his first 2 attempts. Hill trying to bring it back outside. It was off his foot.
Sharing the ball, making the extra pass. A nice little handoff to Irvin and tremendous elevation on his mid-range jump shot. Kind of identical to what he hit against Northwestern a couple nights ago, but he's got to continue to be aggressive and play big and attack this Purdue defense.
You know, that play was composed by Wagner.
Very nice, yes. I knew you had that one up your sleeve.
What trust John Beilein has with his guys. Gave him a lot of it. Not a good pass hit there.
And Wagner wasn't ready for it. So Hill trying to get balanced. Needs some help.
Does a better job. Wagner's going to get called for him. At least he fought for that low post defensive position.
Wagner's a big guy, 6'10", 225, but next to Haas, he's giving up about 30 pounds in there, Coach.
At least it looks like. Wagner, the freshman from Berlin, goes back to the bench. Donnell comes in for Michigan.
Talk about big people. Swanigan on the floor again. He can load up. Got to keep him off the glass, too. This is nice high-low. Forget it.
Haas with his second hoop.
You can't let the ball be caught in that vulnerable spot. That's the first mistake. The second is you got to body up, deny, face the ball. Don't let him walk you up the lane as the postman. Pretty good job by Hill here.
Yeah, all over Walton.
At least one Hill knows how to guard.
talking about the former National Defensive Player of the Year.
You gotta give him a shot.
Thank you, Mr. Nash.
Yeah. Time was running out. Walton lost control of it. Up ahead to go, and here is Hill. In traffic, lost the handle. Walton, maybe his first field goal of the Big Ten tournament. And there it is.
Nice little kick out. But they need those kind of efforts, too. Anything that gets them on the board quickly and easily, they've got to really take advantage.
And Purdue, they're known for being careless with the ball at times in the regular season. They just got to value each possession and throw it inside. They've been dominating early.
Here's Matthias. Get out of trouble, and it's last touch by Michigan. Wolverines about to bring in 3 subs, including Robinson returning and Dockage appearing for the first time.
Jim, there's where the problem is. You can see defensively in the back, they were tardy, didn't communicate. Here's the show. Nobody protect the basket first, but the entry pass just decimates everything on that end.
Purdue's kind of a throwback team. 2 big guys, high-low. You don't see that in today's small ball world of basketball.
Dumping it down low, again to Haas. Donnell behind him, and over the rim it goes. Irvin driving and coming up short with it. Off the floor, Haas. Snaps it ahead, Thompson.
Great balance here.
Goes with the trailer, Klein.
Missed him inside, Swanigan.
Well, they really use both sides of the floor, Grant, don't they?
Haas prefers that left shoulder.
That was not pretty.
Shot put toward the basket. Comes up short, but Swanigan follows it up with contact, and it's against Michigan. Basket counts.
I don't know. I thought that might have been a charge right there.
I think you're right, too. Just a nice job getting in position.
Wow.
Can't tell if he was outside of the restricted area, but
I'm with you. I think he was in good position. John Beilein a little bit upset. You know, I couldn't help when we saw that little bite of John. He's coached every place, Jim.
A little confusion here in the arena. Did they count the basket or not? They put up the hoop on the scoreboard here.
I think they got it counted, to be honest with you. They only wipe it out.
Right here. Donnell maybe had his heels on the line right there.
Do you want to apologize to Valentine?
I apologize, Mr. Valentine.
You're still upset at him from '94. Foulie called against him.
The basket does count here, fellas. As initially called, and Swanigan alertly picking up that rebound off the floor and taking it in for a 3-point play. So 11 field goals by Purdue so far, 9 of which have come in the paint.
Got to be alert for those back cuts, though.
Irvin. Pretty. Battles it in.
And you know, sometimes guys just have confidence going against certain teams. You play well against them in the regular season. Kind of knows against Purdue he can get his shot whenever he wants.
He likes those matchups.
Hammond's back out there now. Puts it up and over, no good.
The last couple of attempts by the bigs have not been pretty.
Trying to beat Doyle, who was defending. Irvin again. This is a 3. Hammonds.
One runs to the box. Look at this. Look at this deep threat. Oh.
Swanigan.
What would you like for dinner? Forget the hors d'oeuvres.
Purdue by 3. 10 baskets now in the paint.
Too much one-on-one right now for Michigan.
Andrew Dockage, who can shoot it, had a good one against Iowa. Great kid, loves the game. So spirited, overcoming the dad who had a limited game.
Hammonds. Oh, and Doyle. Well, it was all ball, but he's going to be called for the contact. And we'll head to the benches.
No, the suit is over. How about the way they run the floor and set up early? A terrific high-low, just because the bigs get down the floor and nobody harasses the passer.
And Hammond's running the court hard. A great seal in transition. Deep post position. Nice touch for the finish.
Does Hammonds remind you of anyone?
I would rather you say it.
Let him in on our little
yeah, go ahead. I think it's
timeout
cute.
chat. Yeah, no, it's just a poor man's Tim Duncan. You know, this kid someday works himself into a regiment where he's working out a lot. He's got a variety of shots. I know, listen, we're talking about one of the great players of all time, so that's why we had some fun with it.
Why What do you think? Why did you have courage to say it to Matt Painter?
You said the same thing, though, huh?
I did. I agree. There's something there. If he loves it, it can come out.
What do you think, Rand?
You know, he reminds me a little bit of Rasheed Wallace back in North Carolina when he played. Just a lively body, can play on both ends. And
he doesn't have a technical all year, though.
That's true.
That's where the comparison is. He's the kind of player they get into this NCAA tournament, get on a little roll. This could be a very dangerous team.
I agree, and they can rotate him too. He can be fresh.
Lockman, the front of the rim off the floor. Swanigan got a very active game, doesn't he?
He does. He loves to step out and shoot that jumper. Tough around the rim, I think. Here's a sequence again. Look at him run in and load up.
Swanigan. Hint of a double team. Now he's going to take the challenge to Chapman, who's able to live up to it.
Great block inside.
Nice job rooting him out. And that's working hard on that sideline.
Here's Walton. Trying to get away from Klein. A shot. Pinned underneath.
Comes up with a steal in the backcourt.
Swanigan inside.
They got both boxes covered now.
Back to Klein. Tough shot right over Chapman.
Now that's his game. That's what he's in there for. And that's where they can bite you. They'll beat you inside, punish you, and then if they can stick that deep one, they own you.
A 9-2 stretch here for the Boilermakers.
Really trying hard, not bad, huh?
That's really well done.
Sometimes you got to go at the big fella, attack him.
That's right. They all have that baby hook, too. He likes that, Tim.
Yeah.
You mentioned it earlier, too. His ability to make a deep shot. I mean, other guys are happy they can slip in the box.
That kid right there is very talented, very skilled.
It could be like Tim Duncan.
You said it.
I'm going to get a call from Tim.
I know it. You made me go out there on the limb, but there is something special about that kid as we've got now a foul call on Purdue. Wednesday on Survivor. The game is turned upside down with a tribe shuffle that comes up with a twist. Don't miss a new Survivor Wednesday at 8/7 Central only. CBS. Swanigan with his first, Chapman to the line. And when you hit a shot like that, like what he did yesterday in the Big Ten tournament, it could change the course of the way that now he plays and the way he feels about himself.
Career heightens your career somewhat. The confidence is developed. I'm looking over here, Matt Painter. They play defense like Gene Cady taught him. The only difference, he does have a better hairdo, but they have a toughness about him.
Chapman got them both. And one of two, actually, for Chapman. And now Irvin replaces him. Only 2 team fouls on Purdue.
Nice screen.
Here's Klein.
Edwards with a beautiful roadblock.
Oh, that was last touched by Robinson.
And you talk about Purdue's defense, getting deflections, causing turnovers. Doing a wonderful job here early on the defensive end.
Purdue has not trailed in this one. 12-6 inside the league. A blowout win yesterday over Illinois, second largest margin of victory in Big Ten tournament history, and probably, you got to think a 3 or 4 seed come tomorrow night in the big tournament.
And you don't want to play them.
No.
This is really a tough team to defend with their size. And you remember Michigan, you think legs will mean something in the second half?
Well, Coach Beilein didn't want to hear about that. Playing a third game in 3 days.
I'll tell you what, to stay with the current theme of bold predictions, this Purdue team, they can win it all. I think they can. I don't like the guard play. But I love the perimeter, the interior guys.
Tapped around twice by Edwards.
You know,
I don't think that's going way out on a limb, but I do think a lot of people haven't looked at them that way. For some reason, the whole season, which has been a good one, I think they've been under the radar.
I would agree because of Indiana, mainly in the same state. You know, the great run that they've had. There's Michigan State finding their legs.
Michigan has struggled here on the offensive end. Just 2 of 8 in the last 8 possessions.
DJ Wilson had to put it up low on the shot clock.
They're really putting different people, different bodies to negate the inside game. That's a good job forcing him here. Now you can get some help. Rake. That's a settle. He made it, but that's pretty good D, don't you think?
Good defense, but better offense. Hammonds continues to dominate inside.
He's got 15 for the game.
Yeah, he can help a lot now, guarding Wilson. Nice little slip on the fake screen. They do that beautifully.
And Rahman able to get the easy basket. As we approach 2 minutes to go in the first half. Michigan State and Maryland on the floor after this one. Davis.
Rayfeld did everything but on that maneuver.
Robinson's open. Great
Pretty.
pass.
Where's Wilson? Slides off the front of the rim.
Oh, what a great run and find.
Yeah, Walton had him teed up, didn't he?
He can do that. Congrats. You know, he's clearing people out now. He may get a foul called eventually. You like this run out?
I love it. I love it. Purdue right here.
The recognition,
Nice.
too. The
Nice.
great understanding on the slip. Pretty. And they lift the big, so you can't get the type of help necessary.
But Hammonds has got to be in a help position. He was guarding DJ Wilson, not a perimeter player. On that particular play, he looked at Coach Painter and said, "My bad, Coach. I'll be there next time."
Well, see, Jim, this rotation is what we're talking about. He was not in a defensive stance. Now you take him out, give him a blow, and you come with Haas, who can just annihilate people with that big body.
That was the 16th foul on the Wolverines, so Purdue to inbound with 1:50 to go in the first half. Walton got a hand on it. Thompson got it back, feeds the corner. Here's Haas, what you're talking about, Billy.
That's finished though.
Yeah. Not strong enough with that move. And Robinson outside, his hand checked. Coming up on AT&T at the half, Greg, Clark, and Seth. All the latest tournament news and who has locked in a spot, who's waiting to see if the bubble will be burst. It's coming up on AT&T at the half. Stony Brook, as they updated us earlier, is headed to the tournament for the first time ever.
You know, when Grant was at Duke, by the way, you know, I have a quick Stony Brook story. My first coaching game was against Stony Brook. They were a small school.
0-1.
I went out to Queens. You give the punchline before the story.
Sorry.
I'll
I know you too well.
I'll save it when we talk about Stony Brook later.
There's got to be a better story than that. They did. They beat you.
No, well, what had happened was I went to a gym. I'll wait for a break.
Second foul. It's called on Thompson. Here's Robinson with the 3.
And he was challenged by the ties. That's what you have to do. Get up on the shooters.
Nice. Walton on him.
Look at this guy. What did you do? Get a Durrett.
Haas backing him in. That time he finished right over Wagner.
And he's just parking himself in that paint. If I'm Wagner, I'm yelling 3 seconds every time he's down there to try to get the officials' attention. But Haas just too skilled and too big.
It's like guarding an 8-wheeler.
Irvin, he's got all kinds of time to set up that shot. Too much time. Now with 40 seconds to go. Here's Edwards. Timeout, Purdue.
I didn't know it. I went upstairs to scout 18, thinking it was Stony Brook. Did my job. They didn't have programs. And bing, go back, tell the kids everything. Drive out the next day. Went to the gym. I watched the first game, the JV, and I'm looking, that's the same color uniform. I scouted the wrong team. So I go to the locker room. I said, well, you know, Harry, what do you do? What's your guy do? They all tell me. I said, forget about it. I got the wrong team. So you're right. It was the last time I was 500.
For your career. Going into that game. What a way to launch a career. So we got 22 seconds on the shot clock here for Purdue. Positive
Blood on Hammonds.
blood on Hammonds. They're sending him to the sideline.
It's about the only thing he's done wrong this half.
So he has been huge. It's hard to believe it. He was benched early in this season. Painter not liking his production, his effort, and like I said, having Hoss on the bench is such a luxury. You can bench a Hammonds to send a message,
right?
And he definitely did that, and he's had a fantastic senior season.
I have a feeling you were never benched for getting attention.
I think Coach K thought about it a couple times.
I want to stop if you're Michigan. Make sure you check out, get a rebound.
9-3.
You got a chance now to get one. Get a good one.
Save it for the last shot.
Yep. Get out of here 6 down. That's pretty good.
Feels like it could have been a lot higher.
You're right.
Indeed.
Now with 10, it's Walton. Here's Irvin. Pulled down by Mathis. Still got 2 seconds. Can shoot it from midcourt, and it's wide of the mark. You got a little buddy on the brain there, huh? That was amazing last night, even though it didn't count. Purdue shot 50% in the first half. They've been over 50% the last 5 full games coming in.
And that certainly helps the big guys.
And they only committed 3 turnovers, leading by 8, and Tracy's with Matt Painter.
Here, and I was lousy my senior year.
But no excuses. No excuse. Let's go to Tracy.
Jim, John Beeline said basically the difference was 2 costly 3-point shots. As for his team shooting, he said the law of averages says if you keep shooting, their shots will go down. He said he likes the shots his team took. As far as defending A.J. Hammonds, he was okay with how they did on him. He said he hit 2 12-foot teardrops. He says that's not going to happen here in the second half. Jim?
Yeah, let's not forget that. You're right. He had a couple of nice jumpers from the outside to lead the way with 15 points. Swanigan with 7. Here comes Michigan now to open up the second half.
And I think, Jim, the big thing, what adjustment they make defensively, Michigan. He's a saver. He might trap, he might double the box.
Blocked by Hammonds. Adding to the stat sheet. Pass to Thompson. Beautiful assist, that time by Davis.
Well, started with great defense.
To Tracy's point earlier, Michigan not shooting the ball well from the perimeter, 3 for 12 from the 3-point line. I think they have to make 3 double-digit threes, pointer made tonight to have a chance here against Purdue.
Ray fell. Davis over to Thompson.
Now they get guys who can make this outside shot. This is a dynamite team. Nice cross-court look.
Right in, uncontested. It's Davis for 2 more, and Purdue has its largest lead of the game.
And that's just too easy right there for Purdue. Beeline is quite upset with the rotation, straight line drive. Got to do better on the defensive end.
Hammonds really resting down in that box area too on the defense. You got to make him work a little bit.
Maybe get him in some screen and roll.
There you go, coach.
Here's Walton. Pull up. Back of the rim. Hammonds. Good ball control there.
1 and done, too. And right away on the box, Swanigan.
Edwards.
And he loads up Swanigan, who seals the baseline help.
6 quick ones for the Boilermakers and a timeout called by the Wolverines. And going back to the first half, an 8-point run. Opening it up to 14.
This is for the doubters.
Seal the deal down on the box area, and you need a roll of quarters to get around them. That's a Jersey Turnpike kind of expression, but just it opens up that drive, the ability to get to the rim, because the big gets down, occupies space, and is man.
Michigan team perhaps fighting for its NCAA tournament life right now. On the bubble coming in.
And Jim, the thing is, they've been beaten badly some games. 21 to Iowa, 17 Purdue.
24 SMU.
13 Indiana. That's why just keep playing. Get themselves back in. This possibility looms. You can win it, or at least be respectable and get the committee's attention.
And that's 8 consecutive missed shots from the floor going back to the first half. Your point, though, you look at the losses, Bill, 10 of their 11 losses have been by double figures. It's hard to believe.
Yeah, it is amazing.
The closest loss they had was by 4 to Maryland.
It doesn't bode well. Is that what you're suggesting?
Well, you would think somewhere in there you might have been beaten at the buzzer or something, but when
Right.
they lost big.
Soundly. Little zone look now, and
Over the top to Hammonds. Swanigan got it to him. It's off Michigan. That resume at 22-11. 4-10 against teams in the top 50 RPI. And they got to win against Texas, Maryland, Purdue, Indiana, all going to be tournament teams. So
they are impressive wins, no question
Yes, no
about
question.
it. Nice high-low again.
oh wow, just dropped it right over the basket, and Hammonds flushed it.
And I'll tell you what, starting halves, the first half, Purdue came out on the 8-0 run. Now 8-0 run here to start the second half.
Connell's off the mark. All Purdue underneath.
Just not able to run their efficient offense. And go back to their straight-up man.
It's Edwards headed to the line.
And coach right here on this play, great pass. Was the ball in the cylinder? I couldn't quite tell on that play.
Pretty close.
It might have been.
Whew. I just think they're getting killed at that foul line.
They are. They got to deny the high post there. I think that might have been in the cylinder there. Offensive goaltending call, but how about the big-to-big passes, the trust, the chemistry they have?
They have been efficient, no question about it. They'll be like searching now to get some more offensive weapons out there and bigger guys to defend.
Wagner and Chapman return, and now Edwards to open this up to 18. Wagner comes away with it.
And Michigan can't try to get it all back on one play. They got to continue to trust their offense, execute, move Purdue's defense from side to side, and not try to make the home run play on the offensive end.
Gone 5.5 minutes without scoring.
Yeah, Chapman's got Swanigan a little small change. Nickel dimer out there, which they're required to call.
Third foul on Thompson. And he'll go to the bench with Johnny Hill replacing him.
Michigan offensively, we talked about three-point shots. They've missed their last 8 three-point attempts. Not good for the offense.
Rockman able to pick it up after the block by Davis.
They got to make this a little nitty-gritty game too, I think. Get after it a little bit more. Be aggressive. And just show how hungry you are. Over steps. Good defense.
Yeah, Ted Valentine's all over it.
But to your point there, Chapman did a good job pushing Swanigan out off the block, fighting him hard, and nice little walk inside there. Good call by Mr. Valentine.
First turnover committed by Purdue in 12 minutes.
Teddy gave you a few. You could call him Uncle Teddy.
Still mad about that Arkansas game.
Once again, and that's the address that the dictate has been.
Hill with the foul.
The officials overall have been consistent with that throughout the season.
They have.
Calling those type of fouls.
Very much so. To the chagrin of the fans, I think coaches have adjusted. Kids have somewhat. They really haven't gotten back cuts, Jim. Terrific defense thus far by Purdue. Nice replace.
Well, here's a three, Grant, and they still struggle from out there big time.
And no offensive rebounding whatsoever either. Look how deep.
Swanigan backing in on Chapman and reaching in with the quick hands was Walton. And we got to tie up. The arrow is going the other way.
And Coach, I love that right there. You have to dig on those early post-ups. Walton helping out Chapman down low, getting a hand inside, causing the turnover. You can't leave the post defensive players for Michigan on the island. They got to get some help. You got to swarm the post.
Robinson leaves, and Aubrey Dawkins is in the game, and you've known him pretty much from his first days.
Exactly.
Johnny Dawkins' son.
Didn't you tell me you had his sister in your hands in '91?
1992, we played in Spectrum against Kentucky as Abdul Rahman finishes at the basket. But picture of Blair Dawkins in my hands before the Kentucky game. Still have that picture at home.
Great memories.
Yes, sir.
And right now, Jim, a couple of stops right now. You're right back in it if you're Michigan.
Love to help
this guy.
5 guys in the paint.
I foul him on that kind of a shot.
Yeah, Wagner in the act of shooting. CBS Sports coverage of the Big Ten tournament will continue after this message and a word from your local station.
From the opening tip-off to the final buzzer, you never let...
Which teams will be in the field of 68, what seeds and where? Get the CBS Sports app for the latest bracketology. Download it now. View the newest projection.
I think I'm going to go ahead and download that now.
Right now, Jerry Palm.
They may charge you, though.
He's our guy for the bracketology on our CBSSports.com, and he had Michigan in. Now others out there didn't agree with that.
It's one of those arguments. The strength of the conference is so impressive. And it's something like I think you have to consider. Wagner deliberating.
Right now, Hammond's not really guarding.
He doesn't really have to.
He kind of plays a zone there in the paint.
Chapman. And it's Hammonds dominating underneath.
See if they can dig down and make stops. Think. Be aggressive. Much better by Wagner. There you go. Check him out.
Nothing easy on the offensive end for Michigan. Give credit to Purdue.
Pretty.
And Hill came over to help out. Got a piece of the hand.
I love Wagner going to the rim, though. Really in the right spot.
And good things happen when you penetrate. Walton getting to the basket, into the paint. A nice little screen and roll. And great find. Bounce pass. On the foul, my cousin Hill.
Speaking of great finds, how about finding out of Berlin? Mo Wagner.
And they come from all over anymore.
Coach Beeline. He also made a little 48-hour trip over to Berlin to recruit him.
I think he's played on their national team.
Yeah, all those under 18 teams, and
right.
they've done well over in Europe. He's been on some gold medal teams over in his native land.
I'm guessing if you asked him who his favorite player is, what do you think? Dirk. I would say.
He's a talented player. This needs to develop some strength to go with that size.
Grant Hill was second. I asked him.
Once again, look at the low post. So Wagner doing a much better. See, I think they got to come help when he gets it.
That is Haas.
He's not making him a passer. See if he can make it. The cradle of quarterback. See if he can make it. See if Bob Greasy's in him.
I was actually going to give you a little Detlef Shrimp.
Oh, yeah, that's a good call.
Christian Velt.
But that's going back to he wasn't around.
That's
then,
right.
I don't think, right? End up at Washington. 2 great performers.
Here he is again. Wagner driving in. Step to the hole. And he's able to deliver the 2.
He owns Haas. Take it to the big fella. He's fighting him, though, on that box. I like that. Checking him out.
Iasto answers with a 3 at the other end.
They make those. Boy, are they a tough out. Dakota with the quick trigger. You should with that name.
Wagner again. Back out to Rockman.
Why did he give it up? I would have gone right to the rim.
Yeah, but this Dawkins wanted it. Tapped around over to Edwards.
Wagner a little late going down.
Spin move, shot up.
That wasn't a great possession there, Purdue. Too much dribbling by Edwards. Work the ball inside.
Here's Irvin driving in, and they leave him alone.
I tell you, that's terrific. Great analysis. The point guy making good decisions, Walton.
He got the rebound at the other end. He gets a lot of boards for a point guard.
Wagner's a little tired right now. Don't foul though. That's 2 of them. You got him going in the direction you like, and don't aid him.
And bad offense by Purdue leads to good transition as Irvin just runs the court hard and gets an easy layup. Probably is the easiest basket for the Wolverines here in the second half. creating turnovers maybe and getting out in transition, a way to get back into this game.
It was Urban's first points of the second half.
And that was Hill with the Matador defense, by the way.
Olay.
Third foul on Faulkner. Monday on CBS, can the geniuses outsmart a deadly virus before it's too late? Don't miss a new episode of Scorpion. Monday at 9, 8 Central, only CBS.
Klein in one of those threats outside, and he's just telling him exactly how to guard the guy. Don't lean in and don't tap the wrist. Tell kids to stay big, stay wall up.
Doyle's back on the floor for Michigan. Size underneath. Took Faulkner's spot. Here's the corner fed, and Walton hits it.
Yeah, right away. They're hanging in. Doing a little better job defensively. You got to need a response from Doyle now. He's got to compete on Haas.
Here's that matchup. Haas taking it to him. And a foul is called on Doyle.
And
His
Coach,
second.
And Coach, we talk about double teaming, but when you enter the ball from the top of the key and the court is spread, you can't really double team there.
You've got to really make him get a catch from the wing or an attempt from the wing.
So the second on Doyle, Ricky Doyle, who saw prominent minutes last year as a freshman. And he had all kinds of issues he was battling this season. Finally, he was diagnosed with sleep apnea. We were able to wire him up and find out that he was waking up approximately 7 times an hour, and at the end of a night, he was getting the equivalent of 2 hours of sleep. The raftery method.
There's a connection.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what,
yours were continuous, but his were, all after awakening 7 times an hour.
At least he's trying to sleep.
There he is at the other end.
Be nice to drive him with he's not that kind of player, though. Lift the big, see if the guard can get to the rim.
Haas is going to be called for it. Walton will shoot free throws out of the break. Purdue with a blitz to start the second half. They've been working on a double-digit margin this half.
White
and Sam Bowie going
dinner bell
back in the day.
Yeah. We'll want to pick up the tab for Mel. But you're right. I mean, the impact they have. If they get perimeter play, point direction, their defense is excellent. And these two are loads to move.
And the beauty is you can rest a guy like Hammonds here in this tournament where in order to win, you have to win 3 games in a row at least, and not playing those heavy minutes, having the luxury of another big guy in Haas and, of course, Swanigan as well.
See, that what Michigan runs should be conducive to beating the big guys. I would move Haas out in every pick and roll. Same thing with Hammonds. If he helps, drive him, let the big guy dive. Move them out of their comfort zone, particularly on the defensive end.
Looking ahead to the tournament next week, is there a type of team, a tempo or style that Purdue wouldn't want to face?
Well, I think West Virginia comes to mind simply because Matt Painter mentioned them. A team that presses and really gets after. They feel the steps. Good call.
Haas's shot dropped, but no basket with the traveling violation.
I think it was the right call, too. He got the happy feet. And no middle linebacker coming after him.
Credit Doyle for showing some resistance.
Matt, come on. Now, if Matt complained at our fantasy camp over that walk, we'd throw him out.
So Haas back to the bench. Hammonds comes in, back and forth they go.
And the big guy, too, alongside his sidekick.
Yeah.
And that's the other thing. Don't let Swanigan get the ball at the top of the key. And see, deny. And then he can't make that entry.
Irvin.
Pretty. That's exactly what you got to do.
Doyle out of bounds.
See how effective that was, though?
Yeah.
I mean, they didn't finish the deal, but Hammonds came up. The big guy dives. He's got to address the dribbler.
They got to do more of that, and what happens too is Doyle may not get the basket, but you get the defense in rotation, and that creates open opportunities for the three-point shooters. So getting ball screens in movement might be the key for Michigan here to get back into this game.
First turnover committed by the Wolverines right there in 12 minutes, Bill.
No, I'm just thinking the Hams, you got to get him tired too. Move him around. He was fresh on the box. You got to beat him. Do your homework early.
But here on the defensive end, Michigan, they have to defend inside, help the big man.
Turn around, Hammonds, no.
Good job.
And Donnell comes right in, defends that one, and pulls down the rebound.
Excellent. 2 feet off the box.
Down the baseline, back out to the three, way short.
They're hanging though. Nice.
That's a big play here by Walton. Lost the handle off the back of the leg of Hill. Feeds the corner. Irvin's three. It brings it to 10. And a little spark that Michigan needed.
The hands up on defense, right? Pressure the passer. You get those runouts.
Yes, indeed.
They were 17 down. They trimmed it to 10.
And getting a steal, getting out in transition. Walton having the presence of mind to find the shooter in Irvin. You know he likes Purdue.
Ooh, we get those puppies organized. Drill it. Zach, next time, go.
Hopefully so.
And then I've just admired what they've done with their big people. Trying to find a fresh face out there to move these tough competitors in the low box. There's a Hammond's load up. Somebody come.
Gotta come. It's too easy.
Short with the shot. And tapped around. Goes back to Swanigan. Reset here, Purdue.
Oh, they don't cover him.
Down low, Swanigan.
Steps.
Yeah, it's the third time they had a travel pull down here low.
And coach, a lot of these turnovers now by Purdue, these walking the ball, because Michigan is jacked up and turned up their defense. They're swarming a little bit more. Active hands, active bodies. Purdue got to keep their composure against the Michigan defense.
Absolutely. Do or die right now when you're thinking NCAA for Michigan.
On the run with a three. And a long rebound out to Thompson.
That would have been big right there.
Yeah, sure, those are the ones you can usually run down, but a little offense. Make these guys in white shirts work.
No basket for the Boilermakers in 4 minutes.
Swanigan's gotten so good at loading up in the box area. Good defense.
Klein thinking about it. Now gives it up down low to Hammonds.
Oh boy.
The 2 on the shot clock. Swanigan tapped it out, and it's last touch by Michigan.
The right call, too.
Tough break there for Michigan, but tremendous post defense inside. Doyle fighting Hammonds down there, and look at the effort. Look at the fighting for every ball off Irvin.
I'll tell you, twice now Hammonds has helped them out, though. They got to get that rebound. He takes a shot like that, reminiscent of Doug McDermott in his Creighton days. A little step back.
Hammonds. Thompson delivered it.
Too easy. Got to deny the roll guy and lapse.
First field goal by Purdue in 4.5 minutes. Hammonds now with 20 and 8 rebounds to go with it.
Go to the rim. There you go.
Irvin strong on the shot. Swanigan off the floor.
Look at this. Too much pizzazz. They got the foul. A little egg on the brow.
Right here, coach. Hammonds comes like he's acting to set a screen and slips it. Great finish. Great pass inside. On the offensive end. Got to get it inside to your first team Big Ten conference player.
Well, you got to be ahead of him on that cut, right? I mean, you just got to jam the lane. There's no way you should be able to just turn and circumvent you like that.
8.5 to go.
I like this matchup right here.
Walton trying to bring it down to 9, and he does.
And your point well taken. That dribble drive opened up the D for that look.
Michigan uses that dribble drive on the baseline to create scoring opportunities and did it right there.
Hammonds fouled on the shot.
Doyle tried to do a good job, but the ability to put it on the deck and move the defense just a little bit. All the help you can see. A little late, the nice bump, the drill by the little guy.
Walton with 11 points, 7 coming in this half. But they're going to send Hammonds back to the line for 2 more. Wednesday on CBS, when Americans go missing abroad, one team will go anywhere to rescue them. Gary Sinise stars in Criminal Minds Beyond Borders, premiering Wednesday at 10/9 Central on America's #1 network.
Now they know where to go when they need some action, and that's got them finding the postman. And Michigan's done a creditable job against Hammonds, and he's helping some of the shots he's taken. Tough match for Swanigan too. Nice.
Now inside. Another assist for Walton.
And they move the big guy, get him involved in the screen. Tries to address the dribble drive. Find the big guy.
5th assist of the game for Walton. Who
Nice
makes
steal.
the steal this time, and it's a foot race. And one! Oh, that is just what Michigan needed.
Well, they celebrate pretty well there on the Michigan bench. They're used to it, but the ability to steal the basketball, get opportunity, the open floor. This is one heady kid. Toughness personified. Go into the rack. Terrific defense. Set it up. Improved, don't you?
It has improved, but also Purdue being very careless with the ball. Walton getting 3 steals, leading to easy transition baskets. Now Michigan showing some life here at the end of the game.
As we talked about this resume for Michigan, this team right now trying to seal the deal, trying to make the field of 68. You got to remember that with injuries this year, Karis LeVert,
Big time player, you're right.
big time talent, and a holdover from some great teams here, out for the season. Spike Albrecht, the hip injuries and surgeries done.
Walton's been nicked up as well. They've got some guys on the floor that would be learning the game. Now they're under the gun, under fire. Watch the load up. Here it is. See if we can just rake a little and help him. Help him. Nice spin out.
Oh, great spin move.
The footwork. Woo. Like Kill on the dance floor.
That's one of his better moves.
Yeah.
That looked like Tim Duncan right there.
He really has that feel when you put your body weight on him. How much distribute it and how to go to the rim.
Robinson driving on Edwards.
Nice. The fake caught him because Hammonds had to come from the foul line.
Hammonds with his second block.
And Hammonds is taking over, coming over from the weak side, being a rim protector.
7 on the shot clock.
Nice little inbounds play.
Robinson over Edwards. Tough shot.
3 on the clock. Had to take.
Yep.
I'd go right back inside to Hammonds.
Or Swanigan. Pick your poison, as they say. And he likes this one. They want him to go in. Mid-range or at the box. Well, much better job doing his homework early.
It's Thompson.
Tough shot.
Raised the rim.
Oh, you had it without diving. Just pick it up. Hammonds has really gotten so much better working on the small change ball.
Foul on Walton. Let's go over to Tracy.
Jim, the first thing that Matt Painter said to his team in that huddle is you can't dribble through 3 people. He said when you get 2 people on, hold the reins. And then he reminded his team to share the basketball. He said they can't handle if you share the ball. And he also reminded about illegal screens. He said keep cutting, but be legal on your screens. Jim?
Right now, a little zone look. Got a rebound, though. Ooh, look at that. So, again. Got the 4th walk, I think.
It is. Yeah. And 2 of them on Swanigan.
when you change the look, it just shakes people up for some reason. Even if you're not a zone guy.
Yeah, no, definitely. Takes you out of your rhythm on the offensive end. And B-line now, we talked about maybe making some adjustments, throwing different looks, and doing it now here in the 5 minutes left.
Yeah, he's not just on the sideline counting the house.
Michigan overcame a 10-point deficit in their second meeting this year to win. They've worked their way back from 17 down, got as close as 6 a moment ago.
This is nice. Salivate, smart too.
Irvin circles around and comes back out with it.
They look like Yogi Ferrell, who does that so well. Nice screen.
Walton.
Pretty.
Donnell open. Rattles out. Tapped around to Edwards.
Gotta make that.
Yeah, that was big.
He feed it again down to Hammonds.
Oh,
he wants it. Another great move. Footwork extraordinaire. Woo.
That little spin out set that move up. You got to be conscious of it. He really is good feeling your weight with his derriere. Really understands exactly where you are. Look at that, the ability to get your balance back. Well, he is coming alive. If he loves it, he's got a chance, I think.
Well, he's made 2 big-time moves here in the last couple of minutes down low.
Absolutely. They've done a pretty good job. And poor John rotating bigs. Doyle had done a really efficient job most of the time he was in there.
And Donnell to the bench with 4 fouls. Hammonds up to 27 points on the game.
Move him around. That's what you got to do. Pretty.
To Doyle,
Nice.
and he is hacked by Hammonds.
He may have walked too, by the way. He got the happy feet.
But he had a beautiful ball fake getting Hammonds in the air, knowing he's a pogo stick going after shot blocks.
I mentioned it was Donnell that had done a really nice job, and they've rotated guys like Doyle. They're doing an efficient job. They are just so good posting up Purdue.
Two shots for Doyle.
Bend the knees, big guy.
What do you think, Grant? Do you think this team, with a loss, would be in the field, or it's such a close call?
Yeah, it is a close call, but I think they've had some good wins, as you said. Injuries. They come back here today in this game, show some fight and some grit. And 22 wins in the Big Ten Conference, that's quite impressive. I don't know what the metrics are for the selection committee, but Michigan, I believe they'll be in, regardless of the outcome today.
A little high-low situation. Hammonds has become a good screener, too.
Edwards, stutter step move, left hand, and another 2.
Mixing it up. Boy, what a combo. Inside, outside punch. A few haymakers.
Rahman off the glass. And one more coming.
And good things happen when you attack the interior of Purdue. Rockman getting to the basket, middle drive.
I just see Hammonds a little tired. They didn't even want to come over. Seldom does he get in a stance, by the way. You ever notice?
You're right.
Straight up and down.
Straight up and down.
And in order to go get somebody, you've got to go down.
He's saving it for the offensive end, Coach.
No question.
And there are, as you see, there's Spike Albrecht on the right side of the screen.
Look how deep he is.
Great unselfishness, too.
Yeah. Nice repost. He's a little tired, though. He can really go to work. He's wide open.
Drive it in for the 2. Davis.
Ray Fowl. Terrific defender.
Here's Walton.
Nice job changing the trajectory by 6'10". Presentation by Hammonds.
That gives Hammonds, with that rebound, a double-double. 27 and 10.
I'll tell you, the amount of plays Purdue has to get the ball inside. Just
Here they go again.
Thompson, he launches it.
Didn't need that right there.
That gave one of those looks coaches love.
All right, Michigan had a late rally against Indiana. First time the Wolverines had ever beaten the #1 seed in the Big Ten tournament after 6 losses. Can they come up with a rally here today and help build that resume and their case?
Well, you know, he was one of those guys that, like a Rick Barry, great passers as well as, you know, shooters. And how about he and Julius, some of the matches they had?
Great player, 6'10", Indiana State.
Right.
Putting him on his back. Almost beat the Magic Johnson-led Spartans.
But
1979.
Out in Salt Lake City.
That's the real. I was at that game, Jim.
Here is Robinson. Tapped around to Swanigan. And what was the reason you were there?
Well, they were
Part of the coaches' convention.
Yeah. I was with the guest clinician.
You're looking for a job, or
John Wooden was unavailable. They asked me to speak.
There you go. Edwards.
Baseline ball. That to me is the key to their team. Because if you take away their inside game, what's going to happen on the perimeter?
Edwards, Matthias, Thompson knocking down threes.
They can bring Klein off the bench, make threes. Rockman. Walton. And there's another rebound for Hammonds. Is their guard play good enough, guys, to make a deep run?
You know what? We'll certainly find out, obviously, but I do think they've got a combination and a rotation. You know, Rayfeld Davis is one of those guys. The point position is the one. You know, who's going to run, orchestrate? You know, Thompson is the guy.
Here's Thompson.
Nice
He was intercepted instead. Jumping in to pick it off as Walton taking on Thompson. Yeah, he had the easy shot and tried to pick up an extra point and go to the corner for a 3.
And that was one of the few mistakes Walton has made here tonight. Playing with a lot of guts and will, and had an opportunity.
You're right. He's tried to put this team on his shoulder. And, you know, Jim's point about the injured guys, too. A lot of people getting a lot more minutes than people would expect. John's been keeping this thing together pretty well.
Coach Beilein emphasized to Tracy before the game that he did not mention once to the team about where they stood, all the speculation about them being on the bubble. Some have them out, some have them in. There's a reach-in foul on Robinson. Never mentioned it, but in today's world, you know, these kids, they see everything anyway.
They talk about, they don't need the coach to tell them what to say.
It's not like there's some sort of news embargo for them.
Well, you know, I did hear John saying how much he admires the committee, how much he likes the committee.
It's always a good way to
go. He
go.
knows they'll make the right decision.
Politician.
Yeah. Son Pat, of course, college coach now, had a great finish for his year.
Yeah, they got to actually meet this season.
I saw it.
Yeah, it wasn't an official game.
One of those exhibitions.
Exactly.
Running a lot of the father stuff, and why not? Moyne College, upstate Syracuse.
Some Beilein family history there.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Relatives, Tommy Nyland, former great coach there.
Rockman, contact, no call. Tapped out to Matthias. And that's a charge call.
Good call.
Yeah, one way to get rid of a trap is just bulldoze. Put that head down.
Lower the shoulder.
Now, Matt said something, Coach, I'm a shooter. Why am I having the ball back there?
Talked about Purdue's perimeter play. They have good shooters. They play inside out, but that one guy that can break a defense down, I don't know if they quite have that. Maybe they don't need that.
It's going to Purdue.
Irvin with that little pull-up, that's his game. And a little bit of reality setting in right now. When you play this Big Ten, this is a war all year long.
Last year, our 2 finalists were in the Final Four, Wisconsin and Michigan State. Shows you how difficult this conference is.
Great point, Grant. Well, they do have some fans being local, about a half hour away. And down in Myrtle Beach, Gene Cady smiling, I'm sure. His disciple got this program going in the right direction.
And listen to the ovation for Hammonds. 27 points, 11 rebounds, a couple of blocks. 3 blocks in all. And Walton on the other side.
And the drama that they have to the next couple of days go through, huh? Will we, won't we?
Talking to Matt Painter before the game, no one knows, but in all likelihood, if you went to figuring they're going to be a 3 or a 4 seed, they would get the geographical preference.
Illinois,
that first week, maybe Des Moines as a first week site. And now the applause for Raphael Davis, for Vince Edwards. It's a good-looking Purdue team.
Give Michigan some credit second half. They showed some fight when they could have mailed it in, but
yeah, they got it down to 6 at one time.
Yeah, they are competitive, still playing like it's an opportunity here.
Yeah, they brought it from 17 to 6. There was still about 7.5 to play when they trimmed it to within range.
too much of a lead. 3 games in 3 days.
Exactly.
Too much ground to make up.
Taylor in the game now, Shaquille. Robbie Hummel talking about him before the game.
Robbie Hummel.
Great.
Yeah, he was on that 09 Big Ten championship team for Purdue. Klein had to put it up to beat the shot clock, and there's chased down by Taylor. And the game is over, and Purdue marches on to the Big Ten championship game. Purdue outscores the Wolverines 16-5 at the end to make it a 17-point final. And the Boilermakers are in the tournament championship game for the 3rd time. They were in the first one back in 90.